Ever since I was a youngin', all I seen was struggle. I was taught you move in silence when you need to hustle. I seen gangsters get their weight up just to use their muscle. They throwing shots in the streets, nobody's using knuckles. No weapons formed against the righteous shall ever prosper. For acting like you conscious, nigga, you deserve an Oscar. We came from kings and gods, they tried to make us mobsters. My son be burning them devils, they skin be red as lobster. Ever since I was a youngin', all I seen was struggle. I was taught you move in silence when you need to hustle. I seen gangsters get their weight up just to use their muscle. They throwing shots in the streets, nobody's using knuckles. No weapons formed against the righteous shall ever prosper. For acting like you conscious, nigga, you deserve an Oscar. We came from kings and gods, they tried to make us mobsters. My son be burning them devils, they skin be red as lobster. We spent so many lonely years sitting in the cell, contemplating and plotting how to get rich as hell. Born in sin, but we were shaped in iniquity. The black race been righteous from antiquity. A father's role is always self-explanatory. You hate to see your children give a next man the glory. They think I'm here to take away from the message. I'm here to wipe away the pain and point out what the mess is. These devils using technology and education. Up in the church, the preacher sermon has no medication. We need a healing from this sin-sick nation. Supreme wisdom is the key and only liberation. It's time to kick it with youngins who think they cash rules. Before they ass get locked in the cage with nuts, no cashews. When it's beef, the killers grab their damn tools. A poor righteous teacher's rich, they always have jewels. Ever since I was a youngin', all I seen was struggle. I was taught you move in silence when you need to hustle. I seen gangsters get their weight up just to use their muscle. They throwing shots in the streets, nobody's using knuckles. No weapons formed against the righteous shall ever prosper. For acting like you conscious, nigga, you deserve an Oscar. We came from kings and gods, they tried to make us mobsters. My son be burning them devils, they skin be red as lobster.
And assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the earths, and all of the righteous families of the planet. It's your big brother Fahiym, aka Daysun Allah, Daysun the God, back again with the family for a quick discussion about one of our brothers, one of our foundational Black American brothers, our brother Lord Jamar. I met Lord Jamar some years ago in Texas. I never met him in New York. It was, out of New York, I met him in Texas. And we never really got a chance to build in depth. But, I met the God maybe once or twice and, shook his hand and had a couple words with him. And, that was it. But, I always thought he was a cool brother. I didn't have a problem with him. But in this last 10 or 15 years now, since the age of the internet, a lot of brothers are getting exposed. A lot of gods are getting exposed, for who they really are. And I always said back in the days, and even today, when I started this channel, I always would say how it's crazy because brothers used to be such good quoters back in the days. Everyone can quote their lessons, top to bottom, front to back. But I always said they really didn't have any understanding of their lessons. Because the quoting thing used to always excite me. But then once I started doing research and studies and stuff like that, and I started seeing, wait a minute, y'all brothers don't know what y'all talking about. That's not what that's saying. This is, and you're not applying anything to any logical thinking, any mathematics, any science. I can't tell you how many brothers I've gotten into and, now they don't want to talk no more. They don't want to, and it's just wild. It's just wild business. So today I just want to talk about my brother Lord Jamar and just some of the, debauchery that, he's dealing with in terms of his character. Again, I always knew after meeting Lord Jamar for the first time and then hearing him build that he really didn't have knowledge of self. He was really an 85%er. But I didn't really take him as an 85%er like he was like a savage god or whatever. I just took him as an 85%er only because He only just heard, he would hear stuff and then repeat it. I knew he wasn't a researcher. He wasn't a person that went out and did the actual studies, independent studies, to come to his own conclusions. He would only hear what someone else says, and he would just bring that back and parrot that to the rest of the crew. No different from, when I talked about our brother Melchizedek. And I said Melchizedek is a baby god. Despite him being in his 80s, age don't have nothing to do with it when we talking about spiritual consciousness and growth and development of a human being. Age don't got nothing to do with it. You can be an elder and be a complete a-hole at the same time who don't know nothing. A lot of our elders in the community today are showing and prove that they don't know nothing. I can't even get upset with a lot of the youth in their teens and 20s when they disregard what the elders are saying or don't even want to listen to the elders. Because a lot of the times the elders ain't saying shit. They're not saying nothing. They're talking gibberish and they're speaking out of turn without facts. They're trying to sound all intelligent, using all these big words, which even the words they're using out of its proper context because they don't read, so they haven't built up a proficient vocabulary yet to even begin to enunciate the big words that they're trying to say. This is what we see going on in the age of the internet today. And it's a sad, sad thing. A lot of people are getting called out, a lot of brothers. I seen recently a video where Billy Carson, got ran off, because he wasn't, I guess he didn't fact check himself. Again, we live in the age of the internet where your information, your knowledge has to be sound, meaning it has to be backed by mathematics and science. And you have to be able to show and prove how you got to your number or how did you get to your conclusion. You have to be able to show and prove that. You can't just say, oh, this is what it is. Like when I talk to a lot of flat earthers, for instance, they'll begin to ask questions to us, the globalists or the ones who believe in a global heliocentric model. They'll ask us, oh, well, how does your planet spin at 1,037 and a third mile per hour and water doesn't fly off into the outer space? And they have no concept of physics. They're baby gods. They just hear and they repeat. They don't do no research, no independent studies on their own to come up with a conclusion. When you do your own studies and find out the answer for yourself, it's hard for people to confuse your mind. You don't believe pseudoscience when you hear it. Because you have an understanding, you could apply that knowledge that you've learned to everything or every field of learning. You could apply it to it and make it make sense. Right? So Lord Jamar doesn't understand physics. He's not God body. He's not a god. No. At least Melchizedek, I could say, is a baby god. Right? But Lord Jamar is not even Lord. He's not even a god, period. He's an idiot. I mean, come on. When you sit there and you go out of character like that and crash out live and direct in front of the masses who look to you as a legend. I agree with your what you're saying about hip hop and its origin. I agree with those things. How it was started by, us foundational Black Americans and, I agree with all of that. But it's just so crazy how you can just completely agree with someone on one subject, but just vehemently and just disagree with him on the other subject. And the other subject is a big deal, bro. It's a big issue. I can't get around that because you're claiming something that you're not. You're claiming to be righteous, but you're not. You're claiming to have knowledge of self, but you don't. You're claiming to be a scientist as a 5%er, but you don't know science. You don't even know the basic fundamentals of science. You don't even know what weight is. You don't even know what up or down is, Lord Jamar. You don't even know what a force is. You don't understand gravity. You haven't, and why don't you understand it? Because you lied and said you did research on this flat earth thing. You came into it. I heard you say on Killer Priest podcast some years ago that you came into this thing like trying to, dispute it. You was mocking this flat earth teaching. And then you came into it doing your research, and the more research you did, the more you started to agree with it. You're lying. Stop freaking lying, bro. You're a liar. Because if you did do research, what kind of research you did? Do you even know how to research? You're that dumb, Lord Jamar? Research means if you're taking something that's new, we see that on this global model that we live on today, this planet Earth, this spherical plane, right? Which is a round circumference, right? Everything fits properly with a globe model. The stars travel at different directions on the north and south poles, right? We can see that. We can conduct experiments that the basic experiments. You can stand on a building and look at a ship out in the ocean just sailing. What's going to happen to the ship, Lord Jamar? The ship is going to start looking like it's appearing to be sinking. Oh no, they're sinking. Oh, they're being killed. No, it's not sinking, bro. It's just going over the horizon. It's going over the curvature of the earth. That's what's happening, Lord Jamar. Nothing spooky, nothing. The Masons ain't trying to hide nothing from you. Simple shit. On a flat earth, that doesn't work. It's different now because on a flat plane, the ship would just be sailing out, and you would never lose focus of that ship. No matter what lens or whatever, binoculars, you get to look at it, you would never lose sight of that ship because it's just traveling a straight path all the way out until I guess it reaches the end and falls off the edge of the earth, as you say, because we're on the top of the planet, right? You don't know what up or down is. You don't understand that the earth has a core. I ask flat earthers all the time, in your pizza world, where's the core? Where does the core exist? And do you know cores are magnetic? This is the reason why water and everything is stuck to the planet. And you're wondering, well, why is it spinning at 1,000 degrees and water ain't flying out into the earth? Into space. Explain that. Well, simple, Lord Jamar. The earth is a massive, massive, massive celestial body. The sun even bigger. The sun is maybe 103 or 100 times 4 times bigger than the planet Earth. But just imagine a beach ball, a big beach ball, right? A big beach ball, and you're a little bitty ant on that beach ball. To kind of put it into perspective for you, Lord Jamar. You're like an ant, a little itty bit, not a big ant, a little itty one of them little itty bitty ants, and you're on a big beach ball. That's how that to give you some sort of, to put it in perspective better for your little small brain, right? So the earth is a massive celestial body, Lord Jamar. And when we're talking about universal astronomical numbers in speed, 1,000 degrees, do you know how slow that is? In terms of you got objects out there traveling 50, 60, 100,000 miles an hour, like almost near the speed of light. You got objects out there traveling really, really fast, Lord Jamar. What's pulling them? What force is pulling them, Lord Jamar? Anything in the universe, you have to understand the whole concept of space-time and what it is. This is why you don't believe in gravity. Gravity pulls things towards the core of massive bodies. Imagine the universe as a big web, and big stuff is all stuck in the web. and it's just there, sitting in the web, right? The larger and more massive that celestial body is, or that object, it's going to have weight to it. So wherever the weight is, and then also within the planet itself, it's pulling. It's pulling. So it's pulling you and water and everything to the core of the earth. The fourth is one of the four forces of our universe: electromagnetism, the strong force, nuclear force, and the force of gravity, which is said to be the weakest force, gravity. That's why a butterfly can fly up, or a tadpole, or whatever you said, can swim, or whatever. Because because number one, it's in a medium. Something underwater is the water is the medium, that it has fins and gills, and they can move around in the water and go up against gravity, the pull of the force of gravity pulling it down. And likewise in the air, birds have wings, butterflies, and all these things. And so yeah, they can propel upward. They have an upward propulsion where they can, and once they're up there, they get on with the wind and the air. It's a thing, Lord Jamar. Air, it exists. Even though you can't see it, it's a reality, Lord Jamar. But their wings will allow them to get on the air, and now they can move. But if they didn't have any wings, or if there was no air, with which there was experiments done like that, if there was no air, they would drop to the floor. They wouldn't be able to fly. What would they do? Would they float? Would they just be floating? No, they drop to the core of the earth. Whether it's a massive object or a small object, Lord Jamar, the mathematics is there. 9.8 meters per square. I mean, the numbers are there. Have you ever done the mathematical equations? I don't think you did. So, to my flat earthers who may want to follow in Lord Jamar's footsteps somehow, and, you might want to get out there and take a crack at it, or whatever the case may be, understand this. Whatever model you present, it has to fit into what we see going on today. You can't use the little, what is it called? The azimuthal equidistant projection of the globe that flat earthers like to use, which is only a globe that's opened up. And now all of the continents and everything is everything is out of whack. So nothing that we see going on, the natural phenomena that we see, such as night and day, you can't explain that in your pizza world or dish-shaped planet. Lunar eclipses, you can't explain that. Just moon, period. How would the moon work on your pizza world? Everyone would be looking at it or observing it from different distances from the ground in your pizza world, when we know that's not true. Everybody on the planet Earth sees the moon at the distance doesn't change on a globe. But on your pizza world, how do you explain it? How do you explain the sun? You say the sun is not 93 million miles away, when Master Fard Muhammad gave us that equation. Those numbers in our actual facts and solar facts, those are his computations. And then he gave us the problem book, which we can see, Lord Jamar, you definitely have a problem. You need that book, because you haven't worked out none of those mathematical equations. You haven't solved any of those word problems, nor do you understand the esoteric meaning behind a lot of what's even being said in there. You're just dumb, deaf, and blind completely to the knowledge of yourself and the lessons. All you know how to do is quote. But those numbers that Master Fard Muhammad gave us are his computations that he taught his student, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that it's in accord with pretty much what the white man teaches today. We both agree that the earth is a heliocentric globe, spherical globe. We both agree that it's 6 sextillion tons, a unit followed by 21 ciphers. I believe the white man, if you look in his Wikipedia or his encyclopedias or his books or whatever, I believe he has the weight of the planet Earth as 6.6 sextillion tons, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. and the speed about the same, 66,000 miles per hour, 365 days, right? 23 hours, 46 minutes, and 56 seconds to be precise, that we have in our solar facts. The Earth being 93 million miles away from us, and light taking 8 minutes and 20 seconds or 500 seconds to reach us on the planet Earth. All of these mathematical equations can be worked out, Lord Jamar, but you won't do it. You don't do no research. You one of them baby gods that just hear and just go repeat what you heard. This is the reason why I gave that analogy when I said, you know, it's like a child going into the room and he hears his mom and dad in an argument or a heated discussion about finances or whatever, but he don't know nothing about what they're saying, so he'll go back to the room and go tell his brothers and sisters, hey, they was in there and what were they saying? He probably can tell them the exact words that they were saying, but he doesn't know or understand what any of that means. So all he's doing is just conveying the message that he don't know what this means, but this is what they were saying. The house is going in foreclosure because there's not enough money in the account or but they don't know what any of that means. This is Lord Jamar. This is brothers like Melchizedek and some of the other 5%ers that we've seen back in the days, back in the 80s and 90s, who were beautiful quoters, right? They can quote their ass off, right? Beautiful Hafiz, right? But at the end of the day, they don't understand anything. Don't understand anything. So these are just a few things I wrote down that 5%ers. I mean, if you say that the earth is flat, first of all, you have to show and prove. You know, again, it's like the analogy of going behind a building and you come back around and tell us, yo, I saw the boogeyman. Oh. And we like, no, you didn't, man. You ain't seen no boogeyman. Ain't no such thing as the boogeyman. And you like, yes, I did. Yo, so why such and such and such? So why such? And you want us to prove what you saw. No, brother, the burden of proof is on you. Stop telling me why does the water don't fly off your globe model? Okay, so tell me why does things do this on your globe model? Brother, you live on this earth with me, am I right? Or are you just visiting here from another planet? Somewhere in our solar system or outside of our solar system, one of these exoplanets somewhere. Or you're from a whole nother galaxy. You're from Andromeda or somewhere. Like, where are you from, bro? You live right here too. You see the natural phenomenon that occurs on the planet Earth. Work that into your flat plane model. And stop asking me, why does this happen on that? You see why it happens. You can study why it happens. You need very, very little knowledge or information to know that the earth is not a flat plane, brother. It's not, you know. So y'all gotta explain lunar eclipses, you know, the poles and the different directions that the stars, explain why stars rotate clockwise in the south and counterclockwise in the north. That can't be done on a global. That only works on a global model. That doesn't work on no flat plane. You wouldn't be able to explain that using any model that you can come up with. Lord Jamar claims he has a model, but he hasn't shown it yet. Only thing you have is talking points. That's it. That's it. From Eric Dubay or whoever, Phil Valentine or Dr. York or whoever you was listening to teaching this madness. You have no model at all. But your model would have to fit in what we see going on. It would have to. There's a such thing as gravity, Lord Jamar. It exists. And again, the four forces, it's one of the four forces. What is a force? Right? Well, you don't even know what a force is, brother. Forces are vectors in the universe, right? And vectors have a magnitude and a direction, right? The magnitude is the numerical amount. The direction is the way in which it's pointing. to show us in which direction, right? But flat earthers like to say, you know, this, density and buoyancy is no, it's not. You don't even know what that is. You don't even know what density is. Density is just mass and volume. That's it. How much matter sits in a particular space. That's all density is. And buoyancy is just a tendency of an object to float on water. But the funny thing is, you're so dumb, Lord Jamar, because even if you work out that equation of buoyancy, you'll see that gravity is still a g in there. Most physicists or mathematicians, gravity's still there. It still has to be accounted for. Bro, what are you doing? Take that flag off. Put those lessons down. Give me back my lessons. The 5%ers have to confiscate. This is what we call a G check. That's 5%ers. It don't even have to get physical to no universal beatdown. I wanted to debate with you on it. But Lord Jamar, you such a savage. I don't even think I would want to face to face have a debate with you. Because instead of acting like a civilized person and being like, okay, well, okay, I might have been wrong, or, you just start yelling and saying disrespectful things. At least Billy Carson, when he was getting bombed, he was just like, okay, yeah, I'll go with that. Okay, yeah, all right. But you just acted like a complete 85%er. Like literally, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference between you and the drunk 85ers that be going to these wild beach parties or whatever. You just sitting there with a blunt in your hand, talking wild crazy. Like a silly nigga. A savage ass nigga. We don't do that as 5%ers, Lord Jamar. Our conduct as Muslim guards, as 5%ers in the Nation of Islam, our conduct is like that of a FOI. Right? That's our conduct. We may not look this, in terms of, like I wear a beard, but I'm a 5%er. So the Father didn't put no distinguishing marker on how a 5% is supposed to look. I could wear dreads, I could wear a beard, I could, but at the end of the day, my conduct is supposed to be like that of Minister Farrakhan or any one of the ministers. It's supposed to be humble, respectful. Whether I'm talking to a black person or divine evil, it don't matter. My conduct is still supposed to be civilized because what? I know I'm right. And I know you wrong, and I'm about to bomb you. So it's no need for me to get out of character and act other than myself. For what? So as I close, family, at the end of the day, the flat earthers, Lord Jamar, I kind of feel almost like Fat Joe now. Get your money up, broke boy, broke ass nigga. Get your money up. You can fly to outer space. You can get on a trip and go out there and see for yourself. There's companies now that sponsor trips and you can do it. What, a couple $100,000 or whatever, for a ticket, and you can go out there yourself. Or you can conduct an experiment from your own home, Lord Jamar. My enlightener told me once that every 5%er should have a microscope and a telescope so that you can see things on a large, massive scale out in the universe, and you can see the most infinitesimally small particles. They can be looked at and observed. This is what a scientist does, Lord Jamar. We look at things and observe them. By observation, we can conduct studies. And then after we gain that knowledge and that information, now you can write papers, you can write a journal and put that out to other students in your nation. This is how knowledge increases in a nation. I don't see that being done even in my own nation with the 5%ers. A lot of people who claim to be God body. Where's our science fairs? Where's our, experiments? Where's our youth with the intellectual, brilliant minds? Where's that at? I'm not even seeing that no more. Whatever happened to the gods and the earths? The gods and the earths done become pseudoscientists now. We don't do research. We don't conduct other independent studies. And we forget all that. It's easier to just listen to videos on YouTube and come out and sound intelligent and trick everybody because I can quote my lessons front to back. And this is the reason why the 5% culture, the Zulu nation, this is the reason why, a lot of that's gone now. At one time, those two groups were information-seeking groups. Even though it was hood niggas from the hood, it was brothers seeking knowledge, seeking information. Even the Latin kings, they're under the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, just like 5%ers. Same thing. Before all of this Crip and Blood stuff started in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, this is what it was ever since the late 50s coming into the 1960s. Brothers was attracted to that Nation of Islam message, that Black Power message, and brothers brought that to the streets and incorporated that into the 5% nation, the Zulu nation, the Latin kings. But somehow the devil was just so wise and was able to calculate your moves that he was able to throw his little dirt in there and just destroy those organizations now. Just, neutralize and destroy. And we can see the works of that today. We can see all of the results of what's happened. There's no studying going on no more in the conscious community. Brothers can get up there and say anything without doing any research. And it's sad. So, my brother Lord Jamar, as I close, the Masons are not stopping you from doing anything. What is the definition of a Mason, Lord Jamar? The definition of a Mason is they're the poor righteous teachers who don't believe in the teachings of the 10%, who know that the true and living God is the supreme being black man. And they teach that he's the supreme being black man. But they teach it in secret. They don't teach it to the masses. So their definition is similar to the 5%ers, who are the poor righteous teachers that don't believe in the teachings of the 10%, that know who the true and living God is and teach that the true and living God is the supreme being black man of Asia. They're both civilized people, Lord Jamar. The black group and the white group, the Freemasons, the Muslim Sons, and the 5%ers, or the guards, the Asiatic, the original Muslims, the Muslim guards. The only difference between the two is one teaches it publicly, the Muslim guards, the 5%ers, and the other group of 5%ers, the Caucasian group, or the Masons, the Freemasons, they teach it in secret. And they just teach only up to 33 degrees of the knowledge, while we begin teaching at 120. But ours goes all the way to completion, 360 degrees. We complete the circumference or the circle or the cipher. So Masons are not bad people, Lord Jamar. Who you're talking about is the 10%. Know your lessons. Those are the bloodsuckers of the poor, right? They're the ones that want to teach us about a mystery God and keep us dumb, deaf, and blind. This is their job. Who are they? Well, the synagogue of Satan, the so-called Jews, that's cosplaying black Hebrew Israelites, right? This rich 1%, right? Those elites, if you will, the oligarchs, that run and control the finance system, the movie and media systems, the educational systems, the religious systems, right? Yeah, they are. They do have things that they're hiding, Lord Jamar. You're not wrong about that. But the earth being flat is not one of them. It's not one of them. Because that's something that we can see ourselves. You can look out there with your telescope and see images. Take pictures. Get a telescope that can take pictures. You can do this research yourself, Lord Jamar. They don't have to lie to you about something like that. The only thing that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said the lie is the body of Jesus, who Jesus really is. That's the only lie, right? That's the only lie that they would like to keep secret from the masses, and that his body still exists today over in the East, right? The ancient Kemet, they preserved his body, and it exists today, and Masons and original Muslims can go see it whenever. That would be a lie. That's the only lie that I know. You know, because that is pretty much what's hiding your identity. Once you see that, then you know you God. The mystery of God is over now. You know who the God is. It's you. You should be done looking around now, outside of yourself, and now looking within. The same thing with the Caucasian white man. When he goes and views that body of the original Jesus, black Jesus, right? He knows his part or his position now in this reality or in this scheme of things. He understands that he's the devil and his time is up. And the only way that he can subside on this earth is to begin living like the righteous. He can't live like how his nature bids him to live, evil and wicked. He has to live righteous now. And by living righteous, he has to do good deeds. He has to give glad tidings, right? He has to teach the dumb, deaf, and the blind who the true and living God is. That's the only secret, Lord Jamar. There's no other secret hiding behind the ice wall, and they don't want us to know about the firmament and what's behind it. I mean, yo, brother, cut all of the foolishness out, man. It's over. The gig is up. So Lord Jamar and a lot of other brothers, man, were basically 85 percenters, walking around acting as they were 5 percenters, but today we see that they're not. So again, Lord Jamar, everything that you say, remember, it has to fit within what we see going on today, right? If it doesn't, throw it out, brother. That's how you do research. If it doesn't fit, throw it out. If you say the earth is flat and the sun is right above our heads, yo, we should all be seeing sun on this flat plane. We should all be seeing daylight at the same time all over the planet. Nobody should be seeing nighttime. But we know that's not the case, Lord Jamar. Because like how it's morning right now, it's daytime for me right now, somebody on the planet is in darkness. We know this, Lord Jamar. We know that. So you have to use your model and explain that. You can't just look at something and say, yeah, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. And keep moving on. It makes you look ignorant. I hope I'm making myself clear with that. I really do. So that's my challenge to Lord Jamar. If you want to be down with the 5 percenters, if you want to be down with us, you got to show and prove, brother. Because you getting G-checked at this point. You know what I'm saying? I know some guards that would have probably wanted to serve you a beat down. You know, a universal beat down for acting the way you acted. But my thing is, I'm just putting up the challenge to you. You ain't no God no more. You're not Lord Jamar no more. You're just my black brother. That's all you is. I think. Right? But you're not God no more, and you ain't no 5 percenter. If you're a 5 percenter, you need to show and prove. I'm putting forth the challenge. Like how you challenge Fat Joe and them, well, I'm putting it forth to you. Do some research. Get some money in your pocket. Buy you a microscope and a telescope. These things don't cost a lot of money, Lord Jamar. But, hey, you should have more bread than me. You can get on a flight and go and do the research yourself. Professor Dave and some of the other, guys put a challenge out to the flat earthers to come to, Antarctica and some of these places and witness the 24-hour sun. And a lot of them didn't even want to go. It was a free trip. Yeah, just come sit with us and do the experiment. People are actually over there conducting live experiments while you sitting over here talking about, nah, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. It's stupid. Mm. You a baby God, bro. That's what you are. Baby God. So get your science up, man. Get your study up. And I'm gonna just leave it right there. So with that being said, family, I'll leave you as I came. In the greeting words of peace, we say it in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the earths and all of the righteous families of the planet. Peace.